Good morning. Okay, this new unit spans over Thanksgiving holiday, and so just kind of putting that out there that we have a little bit of a few days off that you can either use to really take time off, which I highly recommend. I'm a huge advocate of taking some downtime from computer and technology, which is kind of ironic coming from a teacher who teaches online, but maybe that's why I feel the most passionate about that. I think we're always so plugged in that sometimes we forget to just be where we're at, right? So that's my challenge to you over this holiday. But of course, sometimes we just need something to do, and if you're in that category, obviously you can use that extra time to do a little extra research if you wish. The reason I'm excited about this particular unit is that it allows me to explore technologies and ideas that normally I probably wouldn't take the time to do, especially at this point in the school year. I think sometimes, well, I know sometimes or often, I get caught up in the tyranny of the urgent, to use a Stephen Covey term, and I have a hard time looking at that quadrant of stuff that's important but not urgent. It's like that, it's important and not urgent until it gets urgent, then I don't look at it, and then that doesn't really allow me to process and think very reflectively about decisions I'm making. So hopefully this unit really can be that. I know I'm a little bit idealistic sometimes, but I'm hoping that you have time to really look at these technologies, not in a way that's urgent, like, oh, I've got to find something to use this week, or even in a way that's pressuring, like, well, I'm not up to date unless I use something new. Because I think it's really important. The double-edged sword of new technology is that if there's an old technology that works really well for you, you may not need to switch it up just to switch it up. I do disagree with the mentality that we don't want to put things online just as a gimmick, because I do think it's a pretty effective gimmick. When we use flashy tools, it does engage students, and that's one of our objectives. But I think it has to work for us as educators, and we know our population. And even if you don't quite know your population yet, because this is a future thing that you're looking at, thinking in terms of who you can imagine yourself teaching, and what kind of which tools work the best, which ones are most intuitive for you. You know, are you a Mac person or are you a PC, right? I think it just depends on what's intuitive. Are you a new car person for the sake of a new car because it just makes you feel like you're on top of your game? Or do you drive your cars into the ground? You know, these kinds of things will kind of come out in our teaching choices, and that's okay. But be aware of it. Be self-aware. Be deliberate and intentional. We talked about that a lot this course. But have fun too, playing around with these tools. Think like a student as you're using them, and also think about the lessons you teach and how these tools might help to maybe bridge a gap that exists, help engage at a point that you're struggling with engagement, or help structure something that you feel like is kind of in disarray right now. In addition to the classroom materials, I've been doing a project on the side, and I came across a resource that I think is really valuable. I'll tell you right up front that it's a 100-page resource, and it's not a required reading by any stretch of the imagination. And it doesn't fit perfectly in terms of what it's titled and what we're working on right now. It is talking about researching for LMS choice in business and education. Hypothetically, if a business or education facility was trying to choose a learning management system, kind of giving them some criteria to follow, to consider, and some rubrics. Well, what came to my mind is that on page 24 of this document, they talk about different types of LMSs, and they include MOOCs as a way of, as a category of LMS. And then further down in the document, towards the appendix, there we go, not index and appendix put together, it's one or the other. So in the appendix portion are some really nice tools, in my opinion. I think it's something you could totally mix up and make your own, but there's some rubrics there that they are using to set up schools and businesses to make wise choices in choosing LMSs. I think there's a lot that would translate over to what we're talking about this week. Take it or leave it, you won't offend me, but it's there if you want it. Something I came across, like I said, because, you know, we wouldn't want to have just one project going on at once, right? We have multiple projects in all quadrants of our lives. I know a lot of you have expressed that somehow this has been like the busiest semester ever for a lot of us. So enjoy your time of research and give yourself an opportunity to just kind of enjoy the process of learning new tools as you are reflecting on how effective they'd be for you and your students. I hope you have a great 2 weeks and a wonderful holiday.